Every word you are about to receive is not a coincidence. This message comes to you at the exact moment when your soul is ready to awaken to a higher level of consciousness. These are not random lines, nor mere affirmations. What you are about to hear is a direct call to your spirit, a secret key that opens the doors of the invisible and connects your life with the eternal source of all power and all perfection. Within you dwells a sacred force, a flame that never went out, even if you have passed through dark nights and painful trials. That flame is your I Am presence. It is not an idea, not a metaphor, not an illusion. It is the living energy of God Himself breathing within you, waiting for the moment when you, with resolve and faith, allow it to take the reins of your life. This I Am presence has the power to transmute the imperfect, to undo what was created in ignorance, to cleanse the traces of error, and to heal everything that still hurts in your mind and heart. It is the force that transforms your life from the deepest place, restoring what seemed lost, mending what was broken, and lifting you toward the perfect plan for which you were created from eternity. Today we gather in an act of power, but also of love. For to invoke these decrees is not merely to repeat words, it is to recognize that divinity lives in you and that, when you speak with faith, that energy activates like a fire that passes through every cell, every thought, every emotion, and every memory. It is a vibration that illuminates what is hidden, dissolves invisible chains, and opens the way for you to a life of abundance, freedom, and perfection. Every decree you proclaim in this gathering will not only resonate in your mind, it will also do so in your body, in your soul, and in your spirit. It will be like a river of light that cleanses and transforms, like a sacred fire that consumes darkness and reveals the clarity of who you truly are. Every word you speak with certainty is a creative act, a command of your divine being that disintegrates what no longer belongs to you and draws to you the life that was always destined for you. This journey is a return to your true identity. It will remind you that you are not a limited being, nor one condemned to imperfection. You are not your mistakes, not your fears, not your pain. You are a child of divinity, an immortal spark of the creative fire, a conscious manifestation of the eternal I Am that dwells in you. Prepare yourself, for this will not be a superficial encounter. Each word will guide you to recognize your divine origin and your sacred destiny. Prepare yourself, for these phrases are living decrees that can change your present and your future. Prepare yourself, for as you open your heart and join this invocation, your life will begin to be reborn. By the time this message ends, nothing will be the same. For when you acknowledge your I Am presence and allow its light to govern, all that is imperfect dissolves and the eternal manifests in your life. This is your moment, this is your rebirth, and this is the beginning of a new cycle in which you will walk as what you truly are. The living manifestation of the I Am, the power of divine transmutation acting in you and through you. The power of the I Am presence. In the depths of your being, beyond your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical body, there exists an energy that sustains everything. That energy has neither beginning nor end. It knows neither limitation nor wear. It is an eternal fire, a luminous center that burns without ever going out. That fire is your I Am presence. The I Am presence is the divine core of your existence. It is the spark of life that God placed within you from the instant you were created. Nothing and no one can separate you from it, because it is your essence, your true self, your purest spiritual identity. Although the mind may doubt, although the outer world may try to convince you otherwise, the reality is that this presence is within you at every moment, waiting to be recognized, waiting for you to call it, waiting for you to open the way for it to manifest in your life consciously. To recognize the I Am presence is to awaken to a higher truth. You are not a limited being. You are not your mistakes or your fears. You are not your past nor your present conditions. You are much more than that. You are an eternal being, perfect in your essence, a child of the infinite source. And when you allow yourself to remember this, when you affirm with conviction, I am, you activate the master key that can transform every aspect of your life. The power of this presence is not theoretical, it is practical and real. Each time you invoke your I Am with faith, that energy begins to act. It starts dissolving imperfection, healing what seemed impossible, ordering what was in chaos, and opening paths where before you saw only walls. Because the I Am presence is not a wish nor a future promise, it is an eternal fact already living within you. Think for a moment of a radiant sun. Though clouds may hide it, though a storm may cover it, the sun continues to shine on high. So it is with your I Am presence, always perfect, always illuminating, always ready to manifest as soon as you recognize it. Your decrees, your affirmations, and your faith are the rays that disperse the clouds and allow the light to reach your life with all its force. The divine fire of the I Am is more than energy. It is consciousness, intelligence, love in action. It connects you directly with the source from which you come and reminds you that you have never been separate from it. In invoking your presence, you are not calling something external. You are awakening your real nature, the immortal essence that beats within you. When you declare with power, I Am, you are not merely uttering words. You are affirming your unity with the eternal. You are saying, I am the life that flows in me. I am the light that dissolves the darkness. I am the perfection taking form in every aspect of my existence. In that instant, your mind ceases to be a slave to fear and becomes an instrument of divine creation. The I Am presence is the answer to every question, the solution to every problem, and the path to all fullness. It is the power that allows you to transmute pain into peace, scarcity into abundance, illness into health, confusion into clarity, and weakness into strength. You need only recognize it, invoke it, and allow it to work. Now you understand that you are not alone, that within you burns a flame that never goes out. That is your I Am presence, the greatest truth of your existence. When you accept it, everything changes. When you invoke it, everything is transformed. And when you live from it, you become a living channel of love, light, and divine power on earth. The decree that transmutes all imperfection. When you speak the words, my beloved presence, transmute every imperfection I may have created, you are coming into contact with one of the most sacred mysteries of the spiritual universe. These are not empty words nor magic formulas. They are the conscious activation of an energy that undoes error and reorders life according to the divine plan. Every negative thought, every word of pain, every action done from fear or unconsciousness has left an imprint in your life stream. Those imprints are not always seen, but they are felt, in the emotional burdens you carry, in circumstances that seem to repeat, in the limits that keep you from advancing. When you decree this call firmly, you invoke your I Am presence to intervene directly in those imprints and turn them into light, into learning, into spiritual strength. This decree is an act of humility and of power at the same time. It is humility because you acknowledge that you have created imperfections on your path, and power because you declare that you are not condemned to remain in them. You understand that the past does not have the final word, and that each instant is a new opportunity to return to divine perfection. To transmute means to transform. It means that what was once error becomes wisdom, what was once pain becomes strength, what was once darkness becomes an even brighter light. The decree of transmutation does not erase your story. It elevates it, redeems it, and makes it part of your spiritual evolution. By speaking these words, you are cleansing your life stream, freeing your energy from invisible chains, and creating space so that something new can manifest. It is like opening the windows of a room that has been closed for years. Fresh air enters, light floods the place, and what was stagnant begins to move with renewed vitality. To recognize that the past does not define you is one of the greatest liberations you can experience. What you were yesterday no longer belongs to you. Every mistake committed becomes a rung in your spiritual ascent when you allow the I Am presence to transmute it. You are not a prisoner of your falls. You are a divine being in the process of remembering your perfection. Transmutation opens space for the new. When imperfection dissolves, what remains is the fertile ground where the life you desire can bloom. This is how the decree acts. It cleanses, it liberates, and it prepares the way for the manifestation of the abundance, health, peace, and fullness that were always destined for you. Every time you speak this decree, do it with total conviction. Do not think of it as merely a spiritual exercise. Understand that it is a creative act. You are surrendering your life to a higher power, while at the same time assuming responsibility for your awakening. The decree is not an escape. It is a commitment. It is the conscious decision to raise your vibration and walk toward the perfection you are in essence. Thus, in saying, "My beloved presence, transmute every imperfection I may have created," you are not only freeing yourself from the past, you are proclaiming that your present is a clean and sacred ground where only perfection can grow. You are reminding your soul that its destiny is not guilt or fear, but the glory of unity with divinity. The I Am as conquering presence. Human beings spend much of their lives believing that external circumstances have power over them. Fear, scarcity, illness, or the world's chaos seem to dictate the course of our existence. But when you invoke your I Am presence as the conquering presence, everything changes. By declaring, "I am the conquering presence that governs my mind, my home, my affairs, and my world," you are making a spiritual decision to yield the command of your life to your divine essence and not to the limitations of the human. In that instant, you end the slavery of fear and give way to the sovereignty of your spirit. To be conquering does not mean imposing yourself on others or struggling against life. It means conquering your own mind, which so often fills with doubts. It means conquering your emotions, which are dragged about by pain and confusion. It means conquering outer appearances, remembering that no shadow can dim the light of your presence. The conquering presence acts like a king establishing order in his kingdom. Your mind ceases to be a battlefield and becomes a temple of clarity. Your emotions are no longer subject to fear and are transformed into currents of peace and strength. Your words cease to be empty and become living decrees that manifest harmony in your home, your work, your relationships, and every aspect of your life. When the I Am governs, you no longer live reacting to what happens outside. You live creating from within. Your world ceases to be a reflection of outer chaos and becomes the manifestation of your divine center. The conquering presence opens paths where walls seem to stand, brings peace where the storm reigned, and establishes order where there was confusion. This decree is an invitation to take possession of your life from the light. Each time you repeat it, you reinforce your spiritual identity and remember that you are not a victim of circumstances but the creator of your destiny. The conquest of the I Am is not violent, it is peaceful. It does not destroy, it transforms. It does not impose, it illuminates. When you proclaim, I am the conquering presence, you are affirming that the divinity within you is the supreme authority, the guiding force, and the only one that can determine your path. Then your world begins to align. What seemed impossible is ordered, what was blocked opens, and what seemed lost is reborn with new life. This is how the I Am governs, not by human force, but by divine light. And when you allow that light to take command, nothing external can steal your peace, because victory has already been decreed within you. The electronic energy that renews your cells. Imagine for a moment that your body is a temple of millions of tiny lights. Each cell is like a lamp containing within itself the spark of life. Some shine brightly, others seem weakened by the passage of time, pain, or illness. But when you invoke your I Am presence as pure electronic energy, you are activating the power that can restore each of those lamps with the intensity of the divine fire. When you declare, I am the mighty electronic energy that flows, that fills, that renews every cell of my mind and my body right now, you are not making a simple affirmation. You are commanding the divine essence that dwells in you to release its healing power. You are allowing life itself to circulate without obstruction, for the creative energy to penetrate every fiber of your being and awaken the perfection imprinted in you from your origin. The electronic energy of the I Am is not metaphorical. It is real. It is the highest vibrational current that exists, the one that sustains universes, stars, and galaxies. That same force lives within you and awaits recognition. When invoked, it begins to act in the depths, penetrating the memory of your cells, dissolving accumulated traces of pain, restoring tissues, strengthening organs, clarifying thoughts, and filling you with renewed vitality. Your cells listen. Your DNA responds. Your mind obeys. For everything that exists within you recognizes the authority of the I Am presence. That electronic energy not only heals, it also rejuvenates. It reminds you that perfection is not a future state, but your eternal condition. Each decree is like a discharge of light that ignites your cells and awakens in them the divine pattern with which they were created. When you allow this energy to flow, your body ceases to be a vulnerable vessel and becomes a radiant channel of divine light. Fatigue turns into strength, confusion into clarity, illness into health. And beyond that, you understand that your body is a sacred instrument, a living temple where divinity expresses itself on earth. It does not matter how many years you have lived, nor how many wounds you have carried. The electronic energy of the I Am can renew everything that seemed lost. The only things required are your decision, your recognition, and your faith. For the power is already within you, awaiting your call. Each time you speak this decree, visualize the light moving through your body like a golden, radiant river. Feel how that current penetrates to the furthest corner of your being and awakens the sleeping perfection in every cell. Do it with faith, do it with certainty, and you will see your life begin to shine with a light that cannot be extinguished. This is how the electronic energy of the I Am acts. It transforms your body, elevates your mind, and turns your entire existence into a channel of health, strength, and divine resurrection. The sacred name and divine authority. In all the spiritual traditions of humanity, the power of the name is recognized. The true name is not a label, it is creative vibration. From the beginning of time, it was revealed that within the name dwells the authority of the Spirit, the very essence of being. And among all names, none holds greater power than I Am. When you pronounce a decree in the name of the I Am, you are not speaking from your ego or from your limited human will. You are speaking with the voice of the eternal, from the consciousness that sustains universes, from the source of all life. Each time you say I Am, you activate within yourself the same vibration that created the stars, set the planets in motion, and sustains life throughout the cosmos. This sacred name is not a distant invocation, it is your spiritual identity. Saying I Am is to acknowledge your union with the Source. It is to proclaim that within you dwells the Creator's spark, and that you have the authority to bring into the visible world the perfection that resides in the invisible. The authority of the I Am is absolute. It knows no opposition, for no shadow can withstand the light. When you decree under this name, there is no negative energy, adverse circumstance, or painful memory that can remain standing. Everything dissolves before the vibration of the I Am. For this reason, every decree begins with those two sacred words, I Am. They are the divine seal that guarantees that what you affirm does not arise from a passing personal desire, but from the eternal presence that inhabits you. Saying I Am is to say, divinity in me expresses itself now. It is to declare, the authority of God acts at this instant in my life. Understand this well. Your voice is not just a sound, it is creative energy. Your words are not simple phrases, they are vibrations that mold reality. And when you unite them to the sacred name, they become living decrees, backed by the infinite strength of the divine. Hence the importance of watching what you say after I Am. Every statement that follows will be an order for your mind, your body, and your world. If you say, I am weak, you order weakness. If you say, I am strong, you summon strength. If you say, I am abundance, you plant abundance. The sacred name is the key, and your word is the door through which the energy you wish to manifest passes. This chapter is an invitation to remember that you do not speak as a limited being, but as a channel of divinity. When you proclaim with faith, in the name and with the authority of the I Am, your decree becomes law. It is fulfilled because it does not depend on your human effort, but on the power of the presence that lives in you. Thus, each time you use this name, do so with reverence and certainty. Feel that you do not speak alone, but as one with the source. Then you will understand that within you there is no weakness, but divine authority, and that your entire life can be transformed when you learn to decree in the sacred name of I Am, the resurrection and the life of your being. Within every human being there exists a deep longing for renewal, the desire to begin again, to rise after a fall, to recover what was lost, and to live the fullness for which one was created. That longing is not a mere human impulse. It is an echo of the eternal within you. It is the voice of your I Am presence calling you to true life. When you declare, I am the resurrection and the life, you are not repeating a symbolic phrase. You are invoking one of the most powerful expressions ever revealed to humanity. These words were spoken by the Master of Masters to show that divine life cannot be limited by death, by illness, by failure, or by darkness. Each time you pronounce them, that same creative energy is activated in you. Resurrection does not mean only returning from what we call physical death. It means awakening everything in you that seemed lost. It means that your faith can rise again after being crushed by doubt, that your joy can be reborn after long periods of sadness, that your health can rise after illness, that your dreams can return to life after being buried by despair. When you say with faith, I am the resurrection and the life, you are affirming that nothing is truly finished. You are declaring that within you dwells the power to restore, to begin anew, to be reborn. No matter what you have lived, no matter how many times you have fallen, the I Am in you is the certainty that you can always rise, you can always start again, you can always shine once more. The life of your being does not depend on the external. It does not come from circumstances, from material success, or from the world's approval. True life is the divine vibration that beats in the depths of you and never goes out. That life is eternal, perfect, invincible. When you consciously unite with it through the decree, your entire existence begins to align with immortality and fullness. This decree is a balm for the wounds of the soul. It reminds you that there is no definitive failure, for in the light of the I Am, everything becomes an opportunity for resurrection. It reminds you that there is no eternal darkness, for as soon as the presence acts, life and light return with unstoppable force. When you speak these words, do not do it as one who recites something from memory. Declare them with your whole being, feeling that the strength of God Himself moves within you. Visualize your body, your mind, your emotions, and your story wrapped in a radiant light that renews everything. Allow every cell, every thought, and every memory to be filled with that vibration of life that knows no limit. Resurrection and life are not a past event, nor a distant promise of the future. They are a present reality you can activate right now. And each time you do, your whole being awakens, remembering that it was created for eternity, for fullness, for perfection. The collective power of light. The spiritual path is not only individual. Every step you take toward the light impacts not only your life but also the lives of those around you. For the deepest truth is that we are joined in an invisible web, a universal current that connects every soul to all others. That is why, when you decree in the name of the I Am, you do not do it only for yourself. You do it also for all humanity. When you proclaim, "All this I recognize and ask for all my human brothers and sisters," your word becomes a seed of light that multiplies in millions of hearts. Your decree is not confined within you. It travels like a spreading wave that crosses borders, touches consciences, and awakens souls you may not even know. The power of light multiplies when shared. A single spark can light a corner, but thousands of sparks together ignite a fire capable of turning night into day. So it is with your decrees. Each time you invoke divine perfection for yourself and for others, you strengthen the spiritual network that sustains the elevation of the whole planet. Understand this: no act of light is small. A word spoken from the heart can change the course of a life. A decree made with faith can free invisible chains in someone on the other side of the world. Your voice, united with the I Am, becomes a beacon that guides, a fire that ignites, and a force that drives collective evolution. That is why it is so important to include everyone in your invocations. For what you ask for yourself, if you also ask it for your brothers and sisters, returns multiplied. When you desire peace, abundance, health, and illumination for all humanity, those same blessings become anchored more firmly in your own life. The universe responds with abundance to the generosity of your spirit. The collective power of light is the greatest antidote to darkness. For darkness is sustained by separation and selfishness, while light expands through unity and love. Each time you decree for all, you strengthen the consciousness of oneness and help raise the vibration of the earth. This chapter is an invitation to leave the limited me and enter the divine we. For although each of us travels our own path, at the core we are a single spiritual body, one heart beating in many forms, a single divine spark expressing itself in millions of lives. When you say, "All this I recognize and ask for all my human brothers and sisters," do it with full awareness that your voice is an echo of the universal voice. Do it knowing that your decree joins a current of light that is transforming the whole world. Do it understanding that your power does not end in you, but expands to infinity. This is how humanity awakens, united in decrees, in love, and in the certainty that we are all one in the I Am presence. Recognizing gratitude as the key to activation. Gratitude is much more than a passing emotion. It is a spiritual force that opens invisible doors, a vibration so powerful that it instantly connects your life with the abundance of the universe. To give thanks does not mean to settle or resign yourself. To give thanks is to recognize that the divine has already responded even before your eyes see it manifested. When you say with conviction, "Thank you, Father, that you have heard me," you are activating the key of true faith. In those words there is deep recognition. What I asked for is already fulfilled. What I invoked is already on its way. What I decreed has already manifested in the invisible planes, and I will soon see it in my physical reality. Gratitude is the language of the soul that trusts fully in the I Am presence. It needs no external proof because it knows divine life always responds. Gratitude transforms your vibration into a magnet for blessings. While complaint blocks and stagnates, gratitude flows and multiplies. Every time you give thanks, even before seeing the result, your world aligns with perfection. To recognize gratitude as a key is to learn to live from certainty and not from doubt. It is to declare, I trust in divine power beyond appearances. It is to affirm that, although the human senses have not yet perceived it, the work is already done in the higher planes. That is why gratitude does not wait. Gratitude activates. This chapter reminds us that every decree needs to be sealed with gratitude. For gratitude is not a simple add-on. It is the confirmation that what was spoken is alive and in action. Each time you end your invocations with gratitude, you sign your decree in divine consciousness, and that signature is irrevocable. Make gratitude a constant habit. Give thanks for the visible and the invisible, for the small and the great, for what you already have and for what is on its way. Give thanks for life, health, abundance, opportunities, the trials that made you grow, and the victories that await you. To give thanks is to recognize that everything, absolutely everything, works for your good when the I Am presence governs your life. Understand that gratitude not only transforms your circumstances, it also transforms you. It lifts you above complaint, fear, and scarcity. It places you in a vibrational state where only perfection can manifest. When you give thanks, you become a conscious channel of infinite abundance. Therefore, every time you decree, do it with gratitude, and every time you give thanks, do it with faith. For gratitude is not a feeling that arrives after the miracle. It is the key that activates it, the spark that opens the portal of manifestation, the sign that confirms your decree is already a reality. Living in the current of perfection. Arriving at this point means understanding that decrees are not isolated practices or words to be repeated occasionally. They are a way of life. The I Am presence is not activated only in moments of crisis or need. It is meant to guide every instant of your existence. To live in the current of perfection is to recognize that the divine is not a passing visitor in your life, but the very foundation of your being. Perfection is not an unattainable goal nor a prize reserved for a few. It is your natural state, the divine inheritance you already carry in the depths of your soul. Everything imperfect that you see in your world is the product of disconnection, of forgetting who you truly are. But when you remember, when you decide to invoke and live from your I Am, perfection begins to flow like an unstoppable river that purifies, orders, and renews everything it touches. To live in the current of perfection is to train your mind to think from the light, to educate your words to create from love, and to orient your actions to spread harmony in every place you arrive. It is to walk with the certainty that you are not alone, because your divine presence accompanies and sustains your every step. Every thought you choose is a seed you plant in the garden of your life. Sow from the I Am and you will see peace, abundance, health, and joy bloom. Every word you speak is an order that shapes your reality. Speak decrees from the I Am and you will see your world respond with perfection. Every action you take is an echo that multiplies in the collective consciousness. Act from the I Am and you will help raise the vibration of all humanity. The current of perfection does not mean the absence of challenges. It means that each challenge becomes an opportunity for expansion. It means that even in the midst of the storm you can keep your peace, because you know the light within you is stronger than any outer shadow. It means that you no longer seek outside what has always been within. This chapter is a reminder and an invitation. Do not go back to living as if you were a separate, weak, or limited being. Do not again forget that the eternal flame of the I Am dwells within you. Choose each day to live from that flame, to let it guide you, sustain you, and transform your world into a reflection of divine perfection. When you choose to live in the current of perfection, your entire life becomes a living testimony of God's power in action. And then not only do you change, you inspire others to remember who they truly are as well. We have traveled a deep path together, a journey to the most sacred part of your being. Word after word, decree after decree, a truth has been revealed that cannot be ignored. Within you dwells an eternal presence, an invincible force, and an unlimited love. That presence is your I Am. Today you have recognized the power of that divine flame that never goes out. You discovered that you can transmute every error, every wound, every shadow, because there is no past that can chain a soul that decides to be reborn. You understood that your presence not only governs your life, but conquers it with divine light and order. You felt the electronic energy restoring every cell, giving you back vitality and reminding you that your body is a living temple of perfection. You have proclaimed the sacred name and understood that every word that follows I Am is a creative command that molds your reality. You have risen with the certainty that you are the resurrection and the life, that nothing in you is lost, because everything can be reborn under the light of the presence. You also recognize that your voice does not act only for you but for all humanity, that each decree is a seed of light that illuminates millions. And you sealed this power with gratitude. That sacred key that confirms what has been decreed is already in action. You now know this is not about a passing instant, but a life decision. To live in the current of perfection is to allow every thought, word, and action to reflect the glory of your I Am. It is to choose day after day to walk in the certainty that you are more than a limited human being. You are the living manifestation of the eternal, an immortal spark of the all-embracing source. This is your moment. Your rebirth is not in the future, it is here and now. As you leave this encounter, you do not return the same. You return with the awakened awareness of who you truly are. You return knowing that in your hands you hold the key to transmutation, healing, freedom, and resurrection. And now, dear being of light, the choice is yours. You can let this message be a memory, or you can make it a way of life. You can repeat these decrees each day until your entire world becomes a reflection of divine perfection. Carry this message in your heart. Share it with those you love, for perhaps they too are waiting for this light without knowing it. Listen to it as many times as you need, for each repetition will deepen the imprint of truth in your soul. Always remember, you are not your fears, you are not your mistakes, you are not your limitations. You are the I Am presence, the resurrection and the life, the power of divine perfection manifesting here and now. Return to this message whenever you need it, for each word will continue to be a flame that ignites your spirit. And do not forget, the true miracle is not outside you, it is within you.